You know that feeling at the end of the day where you're done cleaning up from dinner, the kids are asleep, and the couch is just calling your name? So you plop, you scroll, you Netflix and chill. You're exhausted and you finally have time to just relax, or maybe you catch up on some things that are pretty chill. Then before you know it, it's 10 o'clock at night. It's 11 o'clock at night. Sometimes when I'm talking with my clients, I'm hearing this story and they're telling me it's 12 a.m., it's 1 a.m. And then I'm trying to go back to bed and I can't go to sleep. For me, it's 9 p.m. Like when I see 9 p.m., it's like 1 a.m. It's insane. I'm like, I need to go to bed now. What am I doing? And so then you go to bed and you're tired, you get in bed, and you are so excited to just like fall asleep. But instead, you just lay there. You're laying there, you're staring into the darkness, and you're like, oh shit, okay, I can't go to sleep. And then you start thinking about tomorrow, when you have to drop the kids off, what you have to do, the projects you're working on at work, when you got to go to the grocery store, what so-and-so said 12 years ago. Like you're thinking of like all of these different things, and you're just laying there and you're twired, right? You're tired, you're exhausted, but you are wired. You are mentally wired. And before you actually go to sleep, it feels like it's already time to wake up. And this happens too often. It's happened to me. It's something that I hear from my clients all the time. And I actually saw this Instagram reel. It cracked me up. I almost started crying, laughing. It was so funny. This woman was comparing what mornings were like before kids compared to after you have kids. And it was hilarious. So before kids, she woke up energized, happy. She's talking to her spouse. She's saying that she slept like a baby. And after kids, she's like, oh my gosh, I can't. And the baby's just crying in the background. And she's trying to bribe her husband to go get her daughter, even though it's her turn. And it was hilarious. And I totally resonated with that. I was like, oh my gosh. I think that's why I thought it was so funny, because I'm like, this is so true. So that's why today's episode, we are talking about pre-bed routines. We're talking about the importance of setting up an evening wind down routine so that you can sleep better and stress less, so that you are not tired when you get into bed, so that you can actually go to bed, sleep, and wake up energized. And we'll also talk about some nutrition tips, some things that you can do nutritionally to help support sleep and to make it even easier. Welcome to the Strong Nourished Momma podcast. If you're tired of wondering what healthy meals to make, feeling like you're running on empty, or struggling to make exercise fun and achievable, you are in the right place. I'm Val, a functional sports dietitian, prenatal and postpartum fitness coach, and a first-time mama. I've created a simple plan that lets you live healthy without strict rules, spending hours in the gym, and sacrificing delicious food while still having time for the things you love. It's time to embrace a fun, sustainable lifestyle where health is possible with a busy schedule, mama. So grab your coffee, settle in, and join me on this beautiful journey to becoming a strong and nourished mama. Let's dive in. Hey there, busy mama. Are you looking for a space to connect with like-minded women, stay motivated, and get fresh ideas to live a healthier, stronger life? Then I want to personally invite you to join our happy, healthy, and strong community completely free. In the community, you will be able to connect with other amazing moms, share your wins, and get support on your wellness journey. Whether you're looking for fun and effective workout routines or tips for nutritious meals that are easy to make for the whole family, we've got you covered. The link to join is in the show notes. Also, become an insider, and you'll also get the latest podcast episodes delivered right to your inbox, along with exclusive content on boosting your energy, staying motivated, and making healthy choices even on the busiest days. To sign up, go to wellnessbyval.kit.com/insider. So to become an insider, go to wellnessbyval.kit.com/insider, and you will get all of this great information. It's time to prioritize you, mama. So what are you waiting for? Head to the links, head to wellnessbyval.kit.com/insider to join the community and sign up for my weekly newsletter. Let's crush those health goals together. Ever since my little one has been in daycare, so since the beginning of November, we've had like a new virus of the week. And there's something's always going on, which I'm sure if your kid goes to daycare and as your kid gets older, you are aware of this. And that's okay. It's going to happen. I expect it. It is what it is. Her immune system is doing what it needs to do. But with that comes disrupted sleep. So she was sick. She woke up in the middle of the night. She was really, really stuffy. And we have the humidifier on. It was on high, but you could tell she was pretty stuffy. So we got her up, did everything that we needed to do, and we were able to put her back down. And I got back in bed. I'm ready, like I'm getting in the covers and I'm ready to go back to sleep, right? I think it was like 1 a.m. Then I'm just laying there and I'm looking at the ceiling. I think I was looking at the ceiling, looking into the darkness, right? I can't see anything. I'm just laying there and I couldn't go to sleep. And I woke up and I'm like, did I sleep after that? Like I felt like I was just awake the rest of the evening. And then the night before, of course, my dog had to throw up like ammo, please. Let's not do this. So 2 nights in a row, sleep was disrupted. This is natural as a parent. This is natural as a mom. It's going to happen. But there are definitely things that we can do to be able to support our sleep. And we're talking about that today. Now, a lot of the times what I'm hearing from my clients is you either go to sleep right away and then you wake up between 1, 3 a.m., or it feels like it takes years for you to fall asleep. Or you're in the midst of infanthood, if that's a thing, or teething, or whatever stage of parenthood and childhood. And of course, sleep is going to be disrupted. So when you're pregnant, especially towards the end of pregnancy, you're probably not getting the best, most efficient sleep. When you have an infant and when they're teething and they're going through all of these different growth spurts, we're going to have disrupted sleep. So today we are talking about winding down before bed so that it can prepare us for sleep and help us with stress management. We want to be able to decrease stress and sleep efficiently. There are things that are out of our control, but we have to take a step back and think about what is in my control and what can I do? And that is our pre-bed routine. So before becoming a mom, I had a great routine. I had a great pre-bed routine. I loved it, right? Of course, I took my supplements. I had my tea. I would hang out with my husband. We'd watch TV and I would do some stretching. And I even did that when I was pregnant. I would hang out on the couch for a bit and then I would get on the ground and I would do my BirthFit basics, different movements and poses to help with tightness and avoid any aches and pains, such as low back pain, right? That's very common during pregnancy. But after having my little girl, it took a while, maybe a year and a half, to be able for me to start my routine up again. Because at the end of the day, I just wanted to plop. I just wanted to sit on the couch and chill and not do anything because I was so tired. But one of the things that I am really focusing on this year is to bring back my pre-bed routine. I know that stretching and mobility really helps me to recover from exercise, of course, but to also prepare me for sleep. The benefits of creating a consistent pre-bed routine, it is crucial to be able to create this pre-bed routine, and the benefits are endless. You're going to have improved sleep quality. You're going to reduce anxiety. You're going to be more relaxed. Like, who doesn't want that? It's going to make it easier for you to go to sleep and stay asleep. So let's talk about why a wind down routine matters. To do that, we need to dive into the science of sleep. We spend a third of our lives sleeping. It's absolutely amazing. It's super important. And we have to first talk about the circadian rhythm to be able to understand this. The circadian rhythm is your 24-hour clock, about 24 hours. Every single cell within the body has a circadian rhythm. Women have an additional rhythm. So men just have the circadian rhythm, their 24-hour clock. Women, we have an infradian rhythm, our lunar cycle, our menstrual cycle, something we'll talk about in a future episode. But we also have the circadian rhythm, and it's working off of lightness and darkness. So the lightness and the darkness, it's communicating to the rest of the body. Every single cell within the body, is it daytime? Is it nighttime? Do I need to produce this hormone or that hormone? Do I need to get ready for bed? Do I need to get up out of bed? What is going on? And so it's very crucial. So when we get light exposure, whether it's the sun, even on a cloudy day, or even light within the house, or blue light exposure from your phone, your TV, your computer, this is going into the eyes to the SCN, the suprachiasmatic nucleus within the brain, and that's communicating downstream to the rest of the body, hey, it's daytime. Let's get it going. Or, hey, it's nighttime. We need to start calming down. This is really oversimplifying the circadian rhythm, but we really need to think, okay, lightness and darkness. When you wake up, cortisol, your stress hormone, it's not a bad hormone. It's really important. We need it. Your adrenals release it. Cortisol is going to be released. It's actually what gets us out of bed. It's what gets us going. We should see cortisol increasing in the morning and then slowly tapering off as the day goes on. Melatonin, which is released from the pineal gland within the brain, is a highly anti-inflammatory compound. It's a hormone. We are making it, but of course we can get it over the counter via supplements in the United States. In other countries, it's different. Because it's a hormone, you need a prescription. But melatonin is a hormone that's going to be opposite of cortisol. We want that low in the morning because we don't want to be sleepy and groggy. We want that low in the morning, and as the day goes on and as it gets closer to bedtime and as we build up sleep pressure, melatonin will be released in the evening as it starts to darken and we start to calm down and get ready for bed. So melatonin is highly anti-inflammatory, really great research with that, but it's going to help us prepare for sleep. We need high melatonin in the evenings and low cortisol in the evenings to be able to go to sleep, stay asleep, get into the different sleep stages, REM, light, deep, for us to be able to physically and mentally recover, and then for us to be able to wake up rested. Now, what happens depending on our sleep hygiene, our pre-bed routine, what we're doing in the evenings, and of course throughout the rest of the day, that's going to impact your hormones and how it's going to be released. We have their circadian rhythm. It's working off of lightness and darkness when we're getting ready for bed in the evenings after we clean up in the kitchen and, sit on the couch and relax or put the kids to sleep. We want to be able to have higher melatonin and lower cortisol. Now, what happens is when you push past that groggy feeling, so you start to feel groggy and tired, but you push past that to stay awake because I need to watch more of these episodes on Netflix, or I need to do more things around the house because there's just not enough time, or I need to work on this project. When you push past that, your body's getting a notification of, okay, I got to keep this girl up. What am I going to do? You know what? Let's stop that melatonin release because she obviously wants to get going. And so let's release some cortisol. And so it's going to make it really hard for you to go to sleep. And this is often what you'll hear people say is, I got my second win and I was able to accomplish so much. But we want to make sure that when we feel groggy, we listen to that and we go to sleep. Now, what happens is if you go to sleep well, right? You go to sleep, you fall asleep quickly, but you're waking up between 1 and 3 a.m., that's usually a stress response. It's usually a spike in cortisol, and of course can be related to blood sugar dysregulation as well. And that's something we can talk about in our one-on-ones. We have to be able to work with our circadian rhythm. We have to be able to calm down before bed to be able to get those signals from the brain to the rest of the body and to tell the body it's time to sleep. That stress hormone, cortisol, we love it. We need her in the mornings to get us out of bed. But in the evenings, we want cortisol to be low. We want melatonin to be high. What happens if cortisol is high in the evenings? You're going to get an increase in that sympathetic nervous system response. You're going to get an increase in heart rate, in blood pressure, and it's going to make it really hard for you to relax and go to sleep. And then you're going to be tired. You're going to be exhausted, but you're not going to be able to go to sleep. You're going to be thinking about all of these other things. So when you are go, go, go all day long, you can't just expect to fall asleep and stay asleep. That's where this pre-bed routine comes into play. Consistency helps signal to your body that it is time to transition into rest mode, to chill out. Now think of your kids. You can't just clean up from dinner, watch TV, and then put them to bed. That'll be a shit show. That'll be a disaster, right? I'm sure you've been there, and then your kid gets their second wind, and it's just a mess. It's a mess. But what you usually do is after TV, you give them a bath, you get them ready for bed, you read to them, let them relax. You have nothing stimulating, no blue light, maybe some calming lights. And then you put them to bed. Maybe you sing to them or pray with them or feed them a bottle or whatever it is. And then you put them to sleep and they go to sleep, right? That's telling them, hey, this is time. It's time to chill out. I know this routine. The body starts to know it and they can actually go to sleep and stay asleep. Fun fact, Babies don't have develop their circadian rhythm until they are about 3 months. So what you are doing, what mom and dad caretakers are doing for their sleep hygiene is going to really impact a baby, especially at the beginning, and their circadian rhythm. So that's just something to think about. So what are some key components of a bedtime routine? 1, we got to set up that environment. 2, we need some relaxation techniques. And 3, we have to limit stimuli, no if, and, or buts. That doesn't mean you can't Netflix and chill or scroll on Instagram. It's just we have to be able to find balance with everything. So let's start with number 1, setting up the environment. You need to create a calming space. So we need a space that is dark, cool, and quiet. Your bedroom. And we want the brain to associate the bedroom with only 2 things: sleep and intimacy. We do not want the brain to associate the bedroom with emails, tasks, to-dos, TV, and all of these things. So I recommend using soft lighting. So maybe you have dim lights, the orange type of lights. Maybe you have some salt lamps. Maybe you have some red light therapy in there, and eliminating distractions like electronics. Now, maybe you have your phone next to you. Maybe you put it on do not disturb face down. Maybe there's a TV in your bedroom. You can occasionally watch TV in bed. I think that's totally fine. But are you doing it every night, every single week? If that's the case and it's disrupting your sleep, more than likely it is, let's take the TV out of the bedroom. It's not helping anyone in that case. You can also play around with some aromatherapy. So some scents that are going to help relax you. Lavender, chamomile, sandalwood. These are going to promote relaxation. Maybe you have a magnesium lavender lotion, which I have it, and it's from Earthly. It's one of my affiliates. I love it, and it helps relax you. Maybe you put it at the bottom of your feet, or you put it on your hands or your shoulders to help relax the muscles and the nervous system. So let's first set up that environment. Take a look at your environment and make sure you have curtains that are going to actually cover and get rid of any light, because the smallest amount of a light, even though you think it doesn't make a difference, it is going to make a difference. The little red dot on the TV, the light coming from your clock on your bed. I don't even know if anyone has that anymore. I'm just thinking of like hotel rooms. Hotel rooms usually have like the brightest of the bright in there. And I'm like, no, grab this towel and that towel and let's cover up all the lights because I want to be able to sleep. So look at your environment and start to think of how you can create a calming space. Number 2, relaxation techniques. Deep breathing is going to take you from that sympathetic go, go, go state to a parasympathetic nervous system. It's going to calm the body. So you can do some deep breathing where you're inhaling for 4 seconds, exhaling for 8 seconds. Maybe you're doing it while you're sitting on the couch. Maybe you're doing it while you're laying in bed or on your back on the ground. The deep breathing is going to signal to the rest of the body, hey, it's time to relax. Your parasympathetic nervous system is your rest and your digest nervous system. It's also going to help with muscle relaxation. And there's a variety of ways to help with muscle relaxation. Gentle stretching, yoga, mobility. That is basically like a light massage. So when you think of getting a massage after, you're pretty relaxed, right? It's not like you want to go for a run or go work out after you get a massage. You're in that parasympathetic state. My coworker refers to mobility, stretching, and foam rolling as a poor man's massage. And that's something you can do while you're watching TV. You can start to roll in an efficient way to be able to calm and relax. Maybe you take a bath or a shower and spend some time just slowing down. Maybe you have some herbal tea. So just like with the aromatherapy, herbs, the herbal tea, like chamomile, valerian root, lemon balm, passion flower, all of these herbs are going to help calm down that nervous system. And so if you get like a bedtime tea, that can be perfect to have before bed. You, of course, just have to be mindful of hydration before bed so you're not waking up in the middle of the night to use the restroom. And then, of course, another relaxation technique, mindfulness and gratitude. We talked about this in a previous episode where gratitude is so powerful. But if we can integrate that part of your pre-bed routine, maybe you journal, maybe you're listening to something and reflecting positive events of the day. You're fostering relaxation and gratitude. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to these techniques, do you need to do them all? No. Choose 1 to 2 things that you would enjoy that would help you, and you probably have to do some trial and error to see what works. For me, the herbal teas and the stretching, and then incorporating the stretching and the breathing together, that is my jam. Now, number 3, limiting stimuli. We have to limit screen time. We have to, because even though watching TV and watching reels doesn't feel stimulating, it's stimulating the brain. It's communicating to the SCN, that suprachiasmatic nucleus, which is then communicating to the rest of the body. It is not nighttime, it is daytime. We got to keep this girl up. Am I saying that you can never be on your phone or watch TV? No. Believe me, I like to sit, Netflix, and chill too, but maybe you put a time frame on it. Like, hey, I'm going to allow myself 60 minutes, maybe 30 to 60 minutes to watch some TV, to scroll on my phone, to play some games, whatever it is. And then after the 30 to 60 minutes, I'm going to shut those off and I'm going to focus on my pre-bed routine. I'm going to turn off the blue light and I'm going to do more of those relaxation techniques. Maybe after you do that, or instead you read a book, a real book, journal, listening to soothing music. Maybe you have like Headspace or Calm, those apps on your phone, those meditation apps to be able to listen to. I used to love to listen to Headspace meditations while I stretched, because it was very hard for me to just sit there and listen. Like, that's amazing, and that's definitely a goal, to be able to sit, meditate, and be with myself and breathe. But it was easier for me to incorporate movement, meditation through movement, and really listen to my body and to be able to relax and breathe while listening to those guided meditations. So 3 components of a bedtime routine. We got to set up the environment. We need some relaxation techniques, and we need to limit stimuli. So building your own routine, do something that works for you. Okay, everyone is going to be different. You're more than likely going to have to do some trial and error, see what works. Maybe it just depends on the day of what you need that day. You know what? Today I need to read a book. I want to read a book. Tomorrow you may want to stretch because you had a hard workout. Maybe you want to listen to a guided meditation app. The goal is to stay consistent with this routine. Usually, if we can, limit TV exposure. The gold standard recommendation is like 2 to 3 hours before bed. I know that's unrealistic for most people. It's unrealistic for me. And so I really try to focus on 15 to 20 minutes before bed, where I'm going to, of course, brush my teeth, wash my face, change, all of those things. And then I'm going to set my alarm, make sure I'm set there, and then stretch and relax. So 15 to 20 minutes can work great. Maybe you start with 5 minutes. Maybe that's more realistic. So stay consistent, do something that you enjoy, and know that it's okay to be flexible. Maybe you have a reminder on your phone 30 minutes before you like to go to bed that says, hey, pre-bed routine, so that you remember to do it. So you're going to need something to remind you. This always goes back to habits and behavior change. If you're used to plopping, watching TV, Netflix, and chilling, you're going to need something to say, knock, knock, hey, Val, it's time to stretch. It's time to do your pre-bed routine. Now, let's quickly talk about some nutrition support. Of course, we want to stay hydrated. Sometimes it can be easy to forget to drink water during the day, so that's why we want those reminders throughout, at the beginning of the day and throughout the day, to be able for us to stay hydrated. Can you drink water in the evening and some herbal tea? Of course, but you need to be mindful of timing and the amount so that you're not waking up having to go to the bathroom. If you're pregnant, that's kind of inevitable sometimes, especially towards the later end of pregnancy. So it's just something that we have to work with. Herbal teas, as I mentioned, these herbs are going to be great. And of course, we can add in supplements instead of the actual herbal tea, depending on everyone's individualized, and the dose is going to be specific to you. Remember, if you are taking supplements, you work with a registered dietitian, a healthcare provider who actually knows about the supplements and supplement medication interactions, because nutrient medication interactions as well, because that's going to be really important, especially if you are on medications. When working with me for nutrition coaching, this is something that we will go over. This is something that we will talk about to see if it's appropriate for you, and then I will provide you with specific doses. If you're interested in scheduling a nutrition coaching session with me, it can be a one-off, it can be 30 minutes, it can be 60 minutes, or it can be part of a package. Please do that. The link is in the show notes. Go to that link, sign up, or feel free to just message me or reply to the newsletter email to be able to get scheduled, and I'll work with you that way. Now, something that I I love, and I take every single night before bed is my magnesium. There's different forms of magnesium. I can talk about this in a future episode, but magnesium glycinate is going to be really helpful for sleep. And the dose is going to depend on you. So that's something we talk about in our one-on-ones. Magnesium, you can take that before bed. Maybe it's after dinner, and it's going to help relax the body. Magnesium is a mineral. It's also an electrolyte, and it's involved in over 300 biochemical reactions. It's my absolute favorite. You also need it to relax. It's going to be helpful for sleep. It's going to be helpful for exercise recovery. It's going to be helpful, especially if you're noticing like you're dehydrated and you're getting cramps in the middle of the night, especially during pregnancy. Then magnesium can definitely be something to add in. Another nutrition support item that I like to add in every now and then is tart cherry juice concentrate. You may have heard of it from the Instagram, TikTok influencers, where they have this like nighttime cocktail. Do I agree with all of it? Probably not, because having a carbonated beverage like sparkling water before bed, it may not work for everyone because you're introducing air into the body and it can actually probably cause some gas and some bloating. But the tart cherry juice has so much amazing research. It's going to be helpful for your serotonin, melatonin, and it's also going to be helpful for DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. It's high in anti-inflammatories and anthocyanins, a phytochemical, so it helps with muscle recovery, and it's also going to help with relaxation. I don't like juice, so I get the concentrate and I put it in a little shot glass. I take a shot, I fill the rest up with water, and then finish that. So that's usually what I would do before bed, especially if I'm really sore or after a super intense workout. So let's do a quick recap. We have our circadian rhythm, 24-hour clock, works off lightness and darkness. In the morning, we want bright light exposure, and as part of that pre-bed routine, we want dim lights, limiting anything stimulating like that blue light exposure. We want to be able to support hormones. We want low cortisol. We want high melatonin. And the components of a pre-bed routine, it's going to entail setting up your environment so it's relaxing, it's calming, it's cool, so you can actually stay sleeping. You do something that's relaxing and you limit that stimuli. And then you have to stay consistent. We have to stay consistent with this for it to work, and we have to be patient. Maybe you just do something for 5 to 15 minutes to start and work your way up there, because I know time is limited, but we can still make time for this. And then if needed, nutrition support, herbal teas or additional herb supplements if needed and appropriate, magnesium, and tart cherry juice or tart cherry juice concentrate. I hope with this episode you can take all this information and start to practice a pre-bed routine that supports your sleep, even in the midst of the craziness of parenthood, infanthood. Throughout all the different stages, we are going to need a pre-bed routine, and it may change a little bit, and that's okay. We need to be flexible. But when you're trying out these different techniques, let me know, tag me, or if you are on the insider list, if you do get my weekly newsletter, reply to it. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from you. Don't forget that if you want to become an insider where you are going to get a variety of information, I would love for you to get on my email list and for you to get that weekly newsletter. Go to wellnessbyval.kit.com/insider, and you are going to get that newsletter and you're going to stay up to date, and I'll give you some other fun things too. I hope you enjoyed this episode and have a wonderful week. Hey mama, I hope you loved today's episode. If it resonated with you, would you please take 30 seconds to share it with another mom, a mom who's looking to make healthy eating and exercise easier, because we need that. And if you haven't yet, I would be so grateful if you could leave a quick review on Apple Podcasts. It truly means the world to me and helps the show reach more amazing moms like you. All right, time to chase my toddler around. Stay strong and nourished, and I will be back on Monday with another episode. Talk soon.